They are the stories we share in hushed tones late at night. Tales passed from friend to friend, often with a chilling warning attached. These are urban legends, modern folklore born from our deepest fears. They thrive in the contemporary world, set in places we recognize: lonely roads, quiet suburbs, familiar buildings. Though often plausible, they remain stubbornly unverified, existing in that unsettling space between truth and fiction. Their enduring appeal lies in this ambiguity, this unsettling possibility. They tap into primal anxieties, giving form to the nameless dread that sometimes lingers at the edges of our lives. Urban legends serve as a dark mirror to society, reflecting our collective anxieties and cultural shifts. They are the cautionary tales of the digital age, spreading like wildfire through whispers and clicks. Tonight, we delve into the shadows cast by three such tales, stories that have haunted generations, reminding us that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones that feel just a little too real. We will explore their chilling narratives and the fears they exploit. Our first story is a classic, a tale of teenage isolation and lurking danger. It's known by many names, but perhaps most famously as the legend of the Hookman. The setting is typically a secluded lover's lane, a place meant for intimacy but often feeling unnervingly exposed. A car, parked in the dark, becomes a fragile bubble against the unknown outside. The key figures are usually a young couple, seeking privacy, and the unseen monstrous figure outside. This figure is often described as an escaped mental patient or a disfigured killer, identified by a prosthetic hook for a hand. The main plot involves the couple hearing a strange noise outside the car. The girl, unnerved, pleads with the boy to leave, while the boy, perhaps trying to seem brave, dismisses her fears or hesitates. The climax arrives after they finally speed away from the spot. Upon reaching safety, they discover chilling proof of the danger they narrowly escaped. Hanging from the car's door handle is a bloody hook. The core fear here is the violation of a safe space, the intrusion of external danger into a moment of vulnerability. It preys on the fear of the unknown lurking just beyond the edges of our perceived safety. Next, we encounter a spectral traveler, a figure who appears and disappears without a trace. This is the enduring legend of the vanishing hitchhiker. The setting is almost always a lonely road, often late at night or during bad weather. It's a place of transit, where the boundaries between destinations blur and isolation reigns. The key characters are a lone driver, usually driving at night, and a mysterious hitchhiker. The hitchhiker is often a young woman, sometimes described as pale, dressed in outdated clothing, or seeming distressed. The main plot involves the driver picking up the hitchhiker and agreeing to take them to a specific address. During the journey, conversation might be sparse or unsettling. The climax occurs when the driver arrives at the requested address, only to find the hitchhiker has vanished from the car. Upon inquiring at the house, they learn the person they picked up died years ago, often on that very road. This story taps into the fear of encountering the supernatural in mundane situations. It highlights the unsettling idea that the past, and its tragedies, can linger and interact with the present. Our third tale brings the terror uncomfortably close, placing the threat inside the vehicle itself. This is the legend of the killer in the back seat, or variations involving flashing lights. The setting is typically a nighttime drive, often on a highway or through less populated areas. The driver is usually alone, feeling secure within their moving vehicle. The key figures are the unsuspecting driver and a hidden assailant, secretly occupying the car's back seat. Sometimes, a third party is involved, trying to signal the driver. The main plot often involves the driver being followed or noticing strange occurrences. In the flashing lights version, another driver repeatedly flashes their headlights at the protagonist. The climax arrives when the driver finally stops, perhaps annoyed by the flashing lights or sensing something is wrong. The other driver rushes up, revealing they were flashing their lights because they saw someone rise up from the back seat of the protagonist's car. The core fear here is the invasion of personal space and the betrayal of perceived safety. It exploits the dread of realizing you are not alone when you thought you were, and that danger has been silently accompanying you. Looking across these three tales, several overarching themes emerge. There's a pervasive sense of isolation. placing protagonists in vulnerable, solitary situations. The ordinary becomes sinister, as familiar settings like roads and cars turn into stages for terror. Shared fears are abundant. The fear of the unknown is paramount, with threats often unseen or only revealed at the last moment. Fear of specific locations, like dark roads or secluded spots, is exploited. These stories also reflect anxieties about technology, the car as a false sanctuary, and crucially, the fear of strangers and the potential for malevolence in unexpected places. They speak to a distrust of the world outside our immediate control. These fears are potent because they mirror societal anxieties. The Hookman speaks to fears of juvenile delinquency and the dangers lurking outside the home. The Vanishing Hitchhiker touches on grief, unresolved trauma, and the thin veil between life and death. The Killer in the Back Seat reflects a deep-seated fear of home invasion, transposed to the mobile space of a car. Narrative structures often follow a similar pattern. A seemingly normal situation, a subtle sign of disturbance, growing unease, a moment of escape or confrontation, and finally, chilling confirmation of the horror. Common tropes include the ignored warning, the false sense of security, and the final, undeniable piece of evidence. Urban legends thrive in cultures where information spreads rapidly, but verification is difficult. They are the modern equivalent of campfire stories, amplified by the speed of contemporary communication. They often gain traction during times of social change or heightened anxiety. These legends can be seen as cautionary tales, warning against perceived dangers like reckless behavior, picking up strangers, or venturing into isolated areas. They function as informal social controls, reinforcing norms through fear. Potential real-world events or anxieties often fuel these stories. The Hookman might stem from fears surrounding escaped criminals or the dangers faced by teenagers. The Vanishing Hitchhiker could be linked to real traffic accidents or local tragedies, giving a spectral form to lingering grief. The Killer in the Back Seat taps into the very real fear of violent crime and home invasion, extending it to the vulnerability of being alone in a vehicle. They are echoes of our collective unease, shaped by the headlines we read and the fears we whisper about. Urban legends persist because they resonate. They tap into universal fears while grounding themselves in the familiar landscapes of our lives. They remind us that sometimes, the line between the ordinary and the terrifying is thinner than we dare to imagine. These stories, passed down through generations, continue to haunt our imaginations, serving as chilling reminders that the darkness outside, and sometimes even inside, is always waiting.